What's up, retail fan? It's your boy Mike coming at you from, you already know. Well, you don't know, GameStop. This is my first video in front of the GameStop, and for this video, let me explain why. Now, this is not financial advice. This is my own personal opinion, and before I get started, you already know what to do. Now, to be clear, some people might get pissed, some people may get triggered, and to me, I really don't care. What I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how my entire AMC position is now free rolling because I shorted GameStop not once, but I shorted them twice. Now, did I have a specific goal in mind? Yes, and that goal was to hedge my position when it comes to AMC, to take some money off the table when making profits on shorting GameStop. Now, let me walk you through a couple of things first. Now, I personally do not think that GameStop's a $25 stock. Now, when it was pushing up a little bit, it's been some time now, it's been some weeks. When it was pushing up, and I opened up a short position on GameStop. Now, when I mean short position, I do mean I shorted GameStop as well as having puts on GameStop as well. Now, just after I created this position, lo and behold, I think it was that same day in the after hours, it was that same day or the next day, my timeline might be a little fuzzy, that there was news when it comes to GameStop, possible Avis, the whole thing with Avis pushing up and saying that there's shorts that might be trapped and some of them are GameStop, they might have to close. So GameStop ended up pushing up to about 26 bucks, just under $27. Now, for me, I don't get too emotional about trading when it comes to stocks. I did before, I no longer do that because when you make emotional decisions, you make mistakes. Now, again, being in that position with GameStop pushing up, could I have been wrecked? That is a possibility. But one thing I want to do is, and I learned this a long time ago, is you want to see what happens during regular market hours. So the very next day, I was going to just wait and be patient and see what happens when the market opens and see how that was going to go. Now, in the meantime, what ended up happening is as GameStop started to push up, overnight it started to retrace and come all the way back down. Lo and behold, the very next day, during regular market hours when it opened up, GameStop was a little bit green and it continued to retrace all the way down. And at some point, 10, 15, 20 minutes, I don't know the exact time, GameStop became red. Now, my entire position was not in jeopardy. Again, it was overnight, came back down during regular market hours. Overall, I started making money on GameStop because it continued to go down, it continued to retrace. Now, I did get out, I think it was somewhere in the $24 range. I made about, so what I'm doing is, now I'm gonna explain this to you as percentages of my overall position when it comes to AMC. So in that one short position, I made about 20%, I covered about 20% of my overall AMC position of the money that I have in there, not only for my shares, but for my options for August of this year, as well as for my $2 strike price of 2028. So I covered just about 20%. I think it's just slightly over 20 point something to 21%. I don't know, let's call it 20% for the sake of this video. Now, that was my first short position. People were saying you're gonna get wrecked and all these things like that. I end up doing pretty well, I'm doing okay. Now, some people say, well, it's only 20%, that's really nothing. Again, gains are gains and profits are profits. This is the problem with a lot of traders, especially retail traders, is that you think something like this is not that much money. And in turn, if you're covering or you're hedging on your position, it's actually a great deal. It's a great thing to do. So now, my belief has not changed. Still, GameStop, do I think it's a $25 stock? The answer to that is absolutely not. I do not think that GameStop is a $25 stock. So now when the news comes up with eBay, and now GameStop starts to push right back up again, 27, 28 bucks. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, GameStop is gonna actually do a lot of things because the eBay deal, Ryan Coleman comes out, he has a horrible interview, you can name it. But when I opened my position for the second time on shorting GameStop, as well as having puts on GameStop, again, this is my belief, GameStop's not a $25 stock. So if I'm doing it at 26 bucks and shorting it back down to the $24 range, a $2 move roughly, why wouldn't I do it at 27 or 28 bucks, right? Even though it's retracing and coming back down, why wouldn't I? It just makes all the sense in the world. That's just my opinion because again, I do not think GameStop is a $25 stock. So now, as it starts to come down, people are upset, they're pissed off because I'm doing this, right? But look where GameStop's at now. It's in the $21 range. Now, when I got out somewhere in the $22 and 20-some cent range. I believe I held a little bit longer, let's call it under $22.50. Exact point, I don't know, but it's under $22.50. But what I am doing is covering the other 80% of my AMC position. What I mean now is by covering the 80% position of money that I invested into AMC, and then a little bit on top. So overall, my AMC complete position is now free rolling, which would be my shares as well as my calls for August of this year and 2028 $2 strike price, both at $2 strike price. Completely free rolling. So let me reiterate this again. reiterate this again. If AMC went down to 1 cent, I would still be green, because through both short positions on GameStop, I've now covered my entire AMC position. Now, here's a question that people are going to ask me. Would I buy more AMC? The answer to that is no. Let me be very clear. I will no longer buy more AMC. I will buy no more, I'll buy no puts on AMC, and I will no longer buy any calls on AMC. Now, the only time I will exit AMC will be the August of this year, the August of 2026 calls that I have. Now, I still have time on those. They're still, months ahead. Again, I tell you, you want to give yourself some wiggle room. You want to give yourself some time. On my GME puts, I had those 90 days out. Some were a little bit more than 90 days out. But this is what I'm talking about, giving yourself time. Now, for me, would I buy any GameStop? The answer to that is also no. I will buy no GameStop. Would I short GameStop for a third time? The answer to that is also no. I am completely done. There is no reason for me to put anything risky back on the table when it comes to AMC or GameStop. I'd accomplished two things. I accomplished the first thing, like creating my whole AMC position, now free rolling. If it goes down to 1 penny, if it goes to 0, I'm still green, because I made more money on the short position of GameStop to cover the entire position and then some. Had a little icing on the cake, a little cherry on top. I'm totally good. So I will no longer buy anything of AMC, and I'm not going to do nothing. And I told you before, doing nothing is still doing something. People can hate this, people can be upset about it. I'll continue to day trade the Amc 7, USO, other positions. I don't hold many things overnight. That's probably, if I hold something overnight, I must have some time on it, or maybe a wild hair in my ass to hold something overnight, especially in this day and age with the markets. But I do not think the shorts are scared. I do not think the shorts are in control. I mean, I don't think they're not in control, and I don't think they're running out of liquidity. At any point, can AMC or GameStop push to the upside? Yes. At any point, can they go ballistic? Yes. Can they move on no news? Yes. Can they move on good news? Yes. But this is something that if you have conviction of something, you have a plan, don't let anybody on social media, don't let anybody on Twitter, on X, on YouTube, or whatever the case, sway your decision. If you've done your homework and you have a belief, people can call me lucky. People say I got a 4-leaf clover in my ass, a horseshoe in my ass, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that I covered my whole AMC position by believing in something that GameStop was not a $25 stock, and put my money where my mouth is, and in turn, it covered my whole AMC position. If you can get with that, cool. If not, totally fine as well. I'm not here to appease you. I'm here to tell you what I'm doing. And people say, why are you talking about GameStop? Why are you talking about AMC? Because that's what I do. Why don't you talk about any other stocks? Because I don't have to. I'm just talking about AMC and GameStop and what I did and what I accomplished. Now, I think it's something phenomenal. I'm not going to be looking at the GameStop price anymore. There's no need to. If GameStop goes up to $32, would I short it? Absolutely. I'm never touching GameStop again. I'm not touching GameStop. There's no reason to. Again, will I buy more AMC? I'm not doing that either. The only thing I'm going to do is sit back, relax, and wait and see what happens for this year in 2026. Do I think AMC is still a $10 stock? It can be by the end of 2026. Like I said before, I'm looking for massive gains, and now that I'm free rolling when it comes to AMC, I have no risk on the table. It feels absolutely good to hedge and win, to be 100% plus and have all that money off the table, back in my pocket, back in my brokerage, back in my bank account, and have no risk on the table when it comes to AMC or GameStop. Now, was it nerve-wracking at points? Possibly, but do not get emotional. Again, do not go by what anybody tells you. Do your own research, do your own due diligence, and I believe that GameStop was not $25 stock. Look where it's at today. Look where it's at right now. It's in the $21 range. I was not wrong. Everybody have a blessed day, and you already know, GameStop, yeah.